control the flow of the meeting by recognizing unit owners who ask to speak. We'll start from the back of the room and move our way forward. Due to the turnout of the meeting, all unit owners will have the floor for 3 minutes. All unit owners will have the floor to speak once before allowing anyone to speak a second time. If discussions get off track, I'll intervene and get the group back on track with the agenda. We insist courtesy and respect shown to the fellow unit owners. We want to provide each speaker with undivided attention. Please keep in mind that unit owners have the right to assemble peacefully when conducting association business. At this time, I'm going to introduce to you members of the table that are part of our project team. Tonight's meeting is simply a general session. We're getting ready to start the staging of the products and we've developed a first draft of the Q&A. And the Q&A draft we will finalize after tonight's meeting in case there's any additional questions that we didn't put on the Q&A that we think would be helpful to the unit owners. Okay? So I want to introduce you from Austro Construction. This is the contractor that the association has chosen. This is Levi Horvath. He's president of Austro Construction. Doran Frey, he's going to be the on-site supervisor for the project. Farouk Saeed, president of S&D Engineering. Daniel McGrady, project manager from S&D Engineering. And at this time, what I'd like to do is I'd like to give the opportunities for the project team to give an overview. We'll start with our engineering team and project team to give us an overview of what's been happening for a very long time and kind of where we were on Friday when we did that final walkthrough for staging. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Farouk.
I know, but
Good evening, everybody. My name is Saeed. I'm the professional engineer and president of S&D Engineering and Construction Inc. We were involved in this project from the beginning 2 years ago.
True.
Personally, we walked the entire community, all 24 buildings, and we calculated the required repairs in order for these buildings to meet the 40-year recertification, which included both structural and electrical. Most of the electrical work has been completed successfully, and now there's a time to address the structural components of the building which require repair. That also includes the roof. So we went through the process, and with the help of the association and the project and the property management, they selected a contractor to over the contract documents and whatnot, and he's in progress of. He applied for a permit, and the permit is being reviewed by the city, and pretty soon it'll be issued and the construction will start. When the construction starts, I will have Mr. Daniel here as a project manager overseeing the project and dealing with the day-to-day communications and whatever that needs. And also I will have another engineer on site inspecting the work being performed by Austro Construction, and then I will be overseeing that work. My team will be here on a daily basis, communicating with the property management and the board. And if you guys have any questions, you can always direct that question to our project manager. I'm sure there will be a time set up every 2 weeks or bi-weekly or every 3 weeks or so. There will be a construction meeting held, and he'll be able to answer any and all your questions. I will let Mr. Daniel speak to you because he'll be the point of contact, unless otherwise something other than what he cannot handle, I will be involved.
Okay, so this has been a project which has been a while in the making. Just last Friday, we were walking the property, confirming where the contractor is going to be staging his material. We've identified the buildings. You'll notice in the frequently asked questions what the first buildings in each phase are. Austro is going to be attacking 4 buildings, 1 in each phase. So work will be going concurrently across the community. We expect the staging of material and bringing materials on site to begin in the next week or so. Is that correct?
Well,
Levi?
we will start staging, I want to start staging, before material comes,
Right.
close the fence
that is an addition. The unit owner is not required to buy those windows, they can buy their own windows if they don't pass. But why don't we go through the scope of work?
Okay, so basically the scope of work, how it's gonna be, so the buildings when we start, before we start, I want the owners to remove all their private, and everything around, what hangs to the fence, because the fence is gonna be replaced, what hangs to the walls, because the walls is gonna have to be replaced. The roofing, so if we, find the damage, trusses inside the wood, then we're gonna have to remove the ceiling inside, we're gonna let them know to remove all their, things from there, we're gonna install dust walls, and we're gonna do our work. For the windows is gonna be a problem, because like I said, in the contract then, from the beginning, I don't wanna be responsible for the windows. So when you get to the window, the buildings, what we start, we know the buildings. I would like, if the people are here, I would like to come to you guys and tell you from the beginning, this window needs to be replaced. I'm gonna show you the cost is already in the contract provided. I'm gonna draw a little agreement in between us. And then the only thing extra is gonna cost you the permits, what's not in the contract. So the permits for the window. And I would like to do that before I start working, because I don't wanna get to that point, I got to the window and I don't have the window to close the job. So that's one thing. And please guys, don't understand wrong. I don't wanna be responsible for the windows, meaning removing them and putting them back. If I have to remove and put them back, the old ones I put, but I'm not responsible if they're leaking or they bend or they break. I can't be responsible because they fragile. So it's just, a regular window. It's not an impact window. So you move it a little bit, the glass is gonna break. So I wanna be responsible.
What about the roofs, taking off the roofs? How is that?
Well, the roofs, so satellites, if people have satellites or antennas or cameras or whatever, has to be removed on their own. Because if I get there and you guys don't care, I'm gonna remove it, but I'm not gonna be responsible what happens to them. So listen guys, if we work together, everything is gonna be nice. We are a team, we're not against each other.
So, looking at the restoration, let's look at the first question. So you're gonna do a complete re-roof,
Yes.
including the gutters. You're gonna replace the skylights. Tell us a little bit about what the city told you about the skylights.
Well, some, it's not just the city, it's the code. So the skylights, what they are closer to the ridge, usually you cannot put it back because they needs to be 24 inches lower than the ridge. But it's grandfathered in, so, they said it's not gonna, they don't think it's going to be a problem.
So they're gonna grandfather this association with the current style.
Yes. Well, the style is not gonna be the current. Well, in today's style.
But it's
It's not
acceptable
gonna
to
be
the
this
city.
way. Yeah, it's a impact, skyline.
Perfect.
Miami-Dade approved impact skyline.
Perfect. You also have stucco repair in T111. Explain to us, there are some other phases that have a lot of T111.
Yes, like phase 1, phase 2, some in phase 3, I don't know much in phase 4, I think it's 1 or 2 in phase 4, we could have some. So yeah, we're gonna remove all the T111, we repair all the studs, everything what we find. We're gonna install a plywood if it's, not existing, but, if it's existing and in good shape, it's gonna stay. So, we're gonna put everything new from, like you guys see on the sample, it's gonna be plywood, it's gonna be like a moisture barrier and the new siding on top, which is gonna be a hardy board. So it's the wood shape to match what you guys had before, and then it's gonna be painted and, any color, with the color what you guys gonna choose. So,
And then-
the stucco, the areas where stucco needs to be repaired, we repair all the stucco. The only thing,
I'm sorry, what did you say, what?
for the stucco areas, we repair all the damage.
Oh, the stucco.
We're gonna go repair, everywhere where it's necessary. The only thing I wanna, point out, because that
what?
piling, like any foundation, strengthening or what's needed. That one is not part of my contract. That's outside search, it's a different part. Yeah, and the most important is to work together and, remove the stuff from around the house. So it's gonna be messy. I'm not gonna tell you guys it's gonna be nice, but the better we work together, the faster we can finish.
How will it be removed?
Pardon?
How will it be hauled out?
Well, the roof is gonna be tear off and everything is gonna be done by truck. So we're not gonna have dumpster sitting, in front, but we're gonna have trucks. So we're gonna have trucks, fill up the trucks, dump it, and then by the evening, they're gonna park the trucks in the tennis court, some tennis court. Yeah.
So what about the people that live next to the
Okay,
tennis courts?
we're not ready yet. I'm sorry, ma'am, we haven't opened the.
Well, we're gonna park inside the tennis court,
Shouldn't ask.
We're not taking questions yet.
We're gonna open here at the end. I want them to all finish the presentation, because they're probably gonna answer a lot of your questions, so let them finish.
So, my intention is, to start first with the roof. Of course, the building I start the roof, I'm gonna continue with the structure. Because I wanna finish, building by building before I move to the next building. And, I guess, that's it.
So some of you have been asking in what order will the buildings be? So the first 4 buildings, there's one in each phase, it's gonna happen simultaneously. On your Q&A, if you're in phase 1, building 6, that's unit 1700, 1704, 1708, 1712. Phase 2, building 10, 1760, 1756, 1752, 1748, 1740. Your phase 3, first building would be building 15, 1745, 1749, 1753, 1757, 1761, and 1765. Phase 4, building 21, that's 1741, 1745, 1749, 1753, and 1757. And you may be asking, well, why were those buildings chosen first? The logic behind that building is we had to start with the buildings that have had most maintenance requests regarding the condition of the roofs, okay? So we had to narrow it down to pick the first 4. The second 4 will also have the property management look at past maintenance records to see what's the next building that has complaints about roofing and things like that. The other question on everybody's mind is what this is gonna cost me. You remember in the budget meeting last week, no, was it last 2 weeks? 2 weeks ago. Carol Eskew from Judith Eskew was here, and we went over the 2024 budget, and we also went over the assessment for the project. And I'm just gonna give you here a summary of what she said, for those of you that were not here. So the board voted to allow unit owners, the assessment won't start until June. And you can pay your share in over 6 months, January 15th through June 15th, without loan interest. Coupons will be sent to all owners outlining this option, should it go out in the next few weeks. Anyone who hasn't paid their share in full by June 2024 will automatically be enrolled in the 20-year loan. New coupons will be sent at that time. Special assessment unit balance, if you're selling, will be due upon resale, and the bank allows the loan to be re-amortized once a year. Therefore, owners who go into the loan may contact Judith Eskew to pay their share in full at a future date. They will provide unit owners with a payoff amount at that time. Okay. So, that's the basic foundation of the general session. We talked about, we introduced the project team. We talked a little bit about the staging areas. There's 2 staging areas. Yes, no, go ahead. It's your floor.
Very important thing, so. But it's another important thing for you guys to
Try to stand
information
close in the back.
is the electric,
Yes.
plumbing, and mechanical. So when we're gonna get to that wall, like we talked to him, we're gonna leave that the last. for you guys to schedule, to be able to be removed for us to finish that, and they can put it back, and they can pass that final too. Because I'm not gonna be able to final my permit until that
What
permit
plumbing?
is final.
What he's
Well,
talking
I'm just
about is-
saying in case plumbing is,
Well,
in the way.
specifically what he's concerned about is the
Yeah, those
air
pipes are
conditioning
old.
compressors.
That is waves.
Those would
Huh?
need to be
Waves.
pulled away.
And the what? The leader
They're gonna
and
have to replace them.
Power gets turned off.
Excuse me, if y'all would please listen to this instead of talking among yourselves, you might get more information from the source.
And then at the same time, for that day, working together with the unit owner and the electric company is gonna be, you guys gonna lose power for probably 8 hours,
Yeah, there's a question among the asked questions whether or not you're gonna lose power. We anticipate it to be about 8 hours, and this is gonna be so that the electrical disconnect that's right up against
No,
the
just one.
units and the air conditioning unit can be disconnected, set aside so that the siding can be done. Once the siding's in place, then the air conditioner can be replaced, the electrical connection can be replaced, and power restored.
I assume that's phase 1, 2, because, I don't think,
I don't think, I don't think.
Phase 4 doesn't have,
Their
is what the
conditioner.
No, four doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Four doesn't have it.
6,000 miles.
What the
Put
electrical
out.
team did in anticipation, they put on those brackets, and those brackets are for you to kind of move forward to have access to the back siding. And then once it's fine, then they come and do the final attachment.
Levi, similar to the electrical, anybody that is in need of having a generator because they have like oxygen or something and they
Yeah,
can't
that's no
come
problem.
up, they notify us the week of, we'll be posting, days ahead of time. Then you notify us, similar to what we did with the electrical. There were a few units where there were some elderly folks that were on oxygen and they couldn't afford to have the electric cut off for the whole day. So we brought out a generator and made sure that we had that hooked up. We'll do the same exact thing here just to make sure that nobody is without necessary power. As long as we just get, a couple of days heads up.
One of the items that I wanted to put on the discussion with the project team is the amount of notice, not realizing that some people have satellite dishes, some people have security cameras and so forth. I don't think a week notice is enough, because we're at the mercy of these service providers to come and remove our satellite dishes if we have them, maybe get in touch with the alarm
I got a
company.
ring.
So
What do you
what,
say?
my question to you is, what
Take
is
it
the
off.
flexibility in that notice?
Well, it's up to you guys, so you guys can put 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, but don't forget the holidays is here, so looks like this year we're not gonna stop anything, we're not gonna touch anything. Because you're gonna have a week before, now this month, for Thanksgiving, and then, half of the December is gone. So, if you guys want, put all these notices and everything, and you're gonna see us here starting. I want a stage, meaning prepare, don't have to move anything in here, but prepare. I have to take the fence down, make a gate, on the tennis court, I have to put a fence, around, but just like temporary, meaning on 2 sides, so the drive-through still gonna be open, So all these things to prepare, move my, the container here where the office is gonna be and all these things. So get ready, and then I say, January, whatever, first week of January, let's say.
When are you gonna get the
December,
permits
whatever
from
the
the
Monday
city?
is.
January.
When is the permits gonna be picked
Well,
up?
roofing I'm gonna have it very soon, okay? The problem is I need a survey for the property, for the fence, for all the fences, because I cannot put part, I wanna have everything together, but the fence I cannot put it in, because I don't have a survey. I need a survey to show them the existing fence, where the fence is placed, and it's gonna be in the same place. Okay, and then with the design of the fence, meaning on the city sides, what's exposed to the city, you guys need to put the same thing, shadow box, okay? inside your property, you can change it, but I guess you guys need, if you guys need to vote or whatever, that's, but you guys can change it to any fence you guys want. Okay? So that's inside the property, because that's your property.
All right, okay, I'm not sure we got an answer to the question. Patty was saying, once you start, can we give the next building more than 1 week's
Oh,
notice?
definitely,
Okay, that's right. How much
No
time?
problem.
I think what needs to happen is the rest of the buildings, Jay, have to be identified already on the map in order, so that we can publish a complete list, understanding, based on weather conditions and so forth, or any extenuating circumstances, that on average, you were telling us it's a month and a half per building. So if we list the buildings in order, and everybody knows when we started with building one, they can more or less, we can put on the forms next to an approximate. So because if I have, for example, I have security cameras, and I have an alarm monitoring, and I'm gonna change my windows. So I gotta notify that, they need to come, and some people, like I said, have satellite dishes. And nobody's gonna go up and remove their own satellite dish, because if they damage it, then they have to pay for it, so they're gonna want the provider to come out, put it down. People have screen enclosures.
Yes, yes.
So people have shutters, those have to come off and all that. So we need ample leeway to get these unit owners prepared to do that.
No problem, I'm sorry, one thing, so with that month and a half, depends what we find in the building, what we have to deal with, can extend or can be short, can be faster.
I think listing the buildings in order for each phase, and then we can do periodic updates. Once the project starts, we're gonna have periodic updates. So once every 2 weeks, we'll meet again, here's the status, you're gonna give us updates, and
Roofing is gonna go the fastest, okay? So
I
roofing is
understand.
gonna move pretty fast.
well, that's the
And
part that needs to
Yeah, it's gonna be right though.
That's pretty fast, very fast.
It wasn't
All
last
right,
time.
so,
For the most part, we know the first.
It wasn't right in 2002.
Then you're gonna
That's why we had all
know,
those
if
roof
we put
leaks.
a set, meaning one building each phase,
Put a roof on the
probably
Never
gonna
fixed it.
understand,
And then they
what
said,
we
oh, well,
have,
then
how we can
gold
scale it.
roofing.
And this way, we need
You remember all
to
that shit.
start no later than first week of January, because the weather is good. I don't wanna get into the rainy season.
we're gonna bring you down your back for the first few months, because there's generally good weather.
Yeah, it's
Once
always
April,
the April.
May, June, we're in rainy season, whatever you can do in the first quarter, Okay, so, anything else you want to report before we open to the floor?
Everybody okay with January
Dory, you
7th
have
or whatever?
anything that you'd like?
I think there's gonna be a lot of questions.
Start?
Says no.
Tomorrow?
I have a question I'd like to ask. If a unit owner, during the construction phase, and you're working on their building, you need for FAQ, who should they contact? I assume it's you. Okay, so we're gonna need to publish your email and cell phone, so we're gonna add that to the Q&A.
He has mine, yes, he is gonna
Right.
have everybody.
And if there's an issue, the other issue I wanna bring up is, what if a unit owner has a concern about one of your workers?
We
Okay,
need to bring
we're
it up.
gonna, everything needs to be funneled through this gentleman, he's the project manager, right? I don't want unit owners fighting with workers or anything, and I think it needs to, once the unit owner has an issue, that they let us know, and then everything gets funneled through you.
All the
They can
workers
call
are-
you,
All the workers are very friendly, so.
yeah, call them.
Very what?
Very funny.
Oh, yes, I forgot. We have, Matt who? Or Gold?
Matt Good.
Matt Good.
Matt Good is on the phone, and he's the association attorney. There will be a unit owner vote for material alterations to the property. Matt, do you want to comment on that? Sure. Yeah. just repeat.
Cranston.
So what Matt is saying is, for each phase, there will have to be a vote to allow material alterations to take place in order to do the project and eliminate certain components of what pretty much everybody is trying to avoid. Excess wood being put back so that there was no threats of termites. The T111 is being taken off, the hardy board's being put on. Please take a look at the hardy board. It's not a wood composite, it's not a wood anything. It is a hard material that has no wood whatsoever, but it's designed to look like it. It's, yes, cementitious substance. So, trellises will be part of your vote. The wood banding, which has over the years rotted, will be either stuccoed over or have a piece of the hardy board put over it, and the paint colors. So in order to do any kind of alteration, including paint colors, you just need to vote. There will be paint samples put throughout. There is a paint sample that's directly across the street that is adhered onto the 4-unit building that's right across the way. Anything else, Matt?
No, that pretty much outlines the items now, obviously, with respect to the banding and the trellises and stuff like that. I want to comment on that Levi's contract, also those are optional items that would be in addition to the contract. But obviously, these associations not only want to save money by removing some of those components, but also want to try to remove those because of termites and things like that, and trying to remove the amount of maintenance that we're doing for the future years. So that has an added benefit. We are, already doing bills for removing those items, and saving association money, and also helping to reduce the maintenance requirements.
So what Matt is saying is basically all the items that have been recommended by the engineer and the contractor are actually designed to be maintenance-free items so that you're not worried about having to carry a termite treatment policy moving forward if you're eliminating a lot of wood. Your painting is included and the paint has a warranty on it. So once this product is painted, it's going to last through a lot of different elements. So the idea was to eliminate as much problematic material that over 40 years has gotten rotted, gotten water damaged, or gotten termite damage, and replace it with something that's completely maintenance-free. So we're saving money by doing that, and we're actually saving future maintenance dollars by doing it. So that's why we need the vote to approve it.
And optional, I'm not.
Okay,
Anything else on that?
you need a 14-day notice.
Minimum 14 days notice, kind of the membership, so the board, because obviously we do have a packet, draft packet kind of together. I'm just waiting on a date, time, location, for the for a membership vote, and have that voted on, the membership can weigh in on optional items.
And the vote is going to be what percentage?
I do believe it's 75%, really based.
75% vote each phase. 75% vote each phase for the materials.
So we'll be giving
The
Matt
optional
a date, which will be at least a full half a month in advance, because the Florida statute requires a 14-day notice for a special membership meeting. A proxy will be sent out. We would need to have each, it's going to be phase specific, and we would need to have each person in the phase vote on it and then submit it back in by that meeting, so that we can be able to move forward with any of the alterations. Because if not, then we have to switch gears and have everything done exactly the way that it was done before.
And it's gonna cost more money.
Is that it for Matt, so we can take questions
Yeah,
from the
he's gonna,
floor?
he's looking at one other thing.
Yeah, if you
You
take
need
a look,
anything else, Matt?
if you take a look at number,
I think it's 75%.
75% by phase, not as a whole. Okay. All right,
It's 75 cents, 75%.
okay, we said we would start at the back of the room earlier. Yes, ma'am?
I have a question for the gentleman in the black shirt.
Levi,
Yes. My first question is, do you use in-house employees or do you sub out the work for what you're doing?
majority of the employees are in-house.
Okay.
Majority.
What percentage?
Other threats I have to solve.
Okay.
'Cause I-
Under what?
My next question for you is, how long does it take to get materials for what you do?
I have materials,
You have it already. But now materials are always on hold. and-
except the windows. I don't have windows, doors, and sliding door. That one I have to order, and that's why I would like this building is what we're gonna start first. To meet with each building, not in the same day, you know, give whatever, now we have a little more window, but I would like, you know, to start tomorrow. And I don't mind, you know, to come after work hours, you know, and talk. The only problem is gonna be a little dark.
Right.
So that's the only problem, but otherwise, yes, no problem. And I bring everything ready, we just fill out the paperwork and we go from there. And then I can order, so when I start, I have new windows here too, so everything is gonna be completed in the same time. And a very important to this, I forgot to say that, very important, that, you know, flowers, bushes, green stuff, what's against the building, I don't know, it's between the association
You mean
and the
weeds?
owners. What's against the building, the fences has to be removed to let us, otherwise it's gonna be trash, so I don't wanna be responsible.
My next question is, I'm not understanding why you have to remove windows in order to do a roof. I never heard of such thing.
It's not for the roof replacement, it's for the
It's not for
siding.
the roof, it's for the siding, for the
For the
exterior
structure.
wall.
Okay, I got it, got confused. Okay. I
It's
thought
nothing
it was
to
for
do with the roof.
Okay.
We're not doing just the roof, we're doing
Because
everything.
I never heard of such thing.
No, it's okay.
Removing the windows to replace the roof.
No.
Okay.
But you have some windows on the roof too, so that has to be.
Why have a skylight on there?
No, no,
Like
we
everybody
have
else?
window on the side of your side walls on the second floor.
I don't have a second floor, I only have a.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay, ma'am, you still have a little bit more time. Do you have any more questions?
No, I'm done.
You're good? Okay. Yes, sir.
I have recently come back from a trip and my roof had leaked. How are we taking care of roof repairs at this particular moment? It leaked into my front bathroom and my front bathroom.
What phase are you in?
I'm in phase 2. I
Yeah.
set a
Are-
thing on the website.
Are you,
Two.
I wanna remember, because it came back, Mr. Jolly?
Yes.
Yeah, your email address was wrong on the website. Hope replies that you didn't leave a number, you only left something LO64 or something. When we hit that, they both came back undelivered, unfortunately. You're in phase, which?
So I'm in phase 2. I'm right on
Which,
it.
which unit are you?
1712.
17.
So this was a recently?
I don't believe I put a wrong
Okay.
email on.
Yeah, I'll meet with you afterwards and show you. I need to get the correct
Okay.
email from you.
Okay, I'll talk to you
Yeah, so
at the
what
end.
we'll do is we'll.
I'll talk to you at the end. I have a couple other things.
Yeah, we have your.
You're Jay, correct?
Yes, I'm Jay. We have your building scheduled, it's probably gonna be the third one in phase 2, so what we'll do is we'll have his group come out and dry you in for the time being, so that you have, everything taken care of, because then he'll be removing.
Yeah,
the
I ran
entire-
the first night I was back, and then I noticed it the next day. But it hasn't rained since, and it's all dried up now.
I'll stay here and you can go.
Yeah, I'll talk.
When was that? When was it?
a couple of days ago.
Couple of days ago. Okay, just send me that and I send somebody there tomorrow. Tomorrow you home? Sorry.
Should be.
Okay, I'm gonna send somebody in the morning.
Mr. Jolly, you still have more time. Do you have any other questions, sir?
Not for,
Not right now?
not for the group.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to Jay.
Okay, how long is going to take to do the roofing for each building? How long is going to take?
Well,
Approximately.
Approximately, we anticipate about a month and a half per building, include roofing and structure, not just roofing.
Right. So during that time, we will expect maybe 1 day without lights, right?
Yes, that's for sure. 1 day is gonna be, well, I don't know, depends on the electrician and the mechanicals, you know, because probably it's gonna be less, but we need to save our 8 hours.
Yeah, and you said also that maybe the windows could break, so we need to be ready to have the money to change, to have the impact
I
windows.
come to your building and I tell you if those needs to be replaced or not. Okay?
Right, but in
But if
case,
they
we
don't
need to be
need to-
prepared because we
They
never
don't-
know,
yeah, They
right?
don't need to, when we open wherever we install a window or wherever, you know, I don't wanna remove it and put it back, only if we sign, you know, understanding, I remove it and put it back, but I'm not responsible or whatever
Right.
happens to them.
I understand that, but in case that something happened with the window, we must be ready to come with the money to change the
Yes.
windows and to have the money, whatever, maybe 15,000 because it's,
No, it's not, you have, everything is in the contract, it's set your price, so it's not part of the contract, but we set a price, we work together with the engineer and the board, and we find, you know, the best price for the window, and we price the whole community, so the prices are there, you're not gonna pay more or less, whatever says there, the only thing is extra to it is the permit cost, that's it.
right. But it's, but the
And it's
windows.
a lot
is-
cheaper than anywhere you're gonna buy it.
Right, but the windows is a responsibility of us, so we are
Yes.
going to pay for it.
Yes,
So
yes,
we need to
sure.
count with the money at least for that, because we need to count with $42,000, I guess, for the roof, and also to count with maybe $15,000 more for the windows. So we got maybe
What
60,000
unit are, which?
in phase 2,
If
the
they're
more
hurry-
expensive ones,
If they're
Okay,
hurricane.
where? You on the corner, you in the middle?
in the middle.
Okay, then how many window you can have?
That's a very specific question, so let's hold that.
It's not, cannot be so expensive like you
Each
think.
unit owner will get a visit from him
Yeah.
before he starts their building in advance.
Right.
And he will talk to each unit owner about which windows probably will need to be replaced and what the cost will be on that, and he'll talk to you about payment.
Right, but it's regarding to the money, because we need to be prepared for all of these expenses.
Right.
That's going to be extremely expensive,
I
including all
it
of
might
that.
be helpful to just mention how, how the county operates with respect to when you're taking out the windows, or when you're taking off the facade. And what happens, if the window stays intact, great. Sometimes it's being held in by some of the outside material that comes out. And that triggers what?
He says he has.
Okay,
He said he's gonna
guys,
come
I'm
to
going to go ahead further elaborate
Can we
what
see
he was explaining.
before, so we can plan financial?
Yeah, first of all, I would like you to know that the projected time he's giving you is six weeks or so. That is an estimate.
Yeah.
Some buildings could take as much as 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the amount of repair he finds once he starts to open up the structural wall or other components. So it'll be dictated at that time. At an average, it could take 6 to 7 weeks, but it could go as much as 10 weeks or so. There will be times that you may have to, leave or close one room. There could be a wall. The wall is bad, the studs inside the wall are bad. So he has to work inside, and will be a lot of dust or whatnot, so you may not be able to use that. So be prepared for that. We'll try our best not to have we will try our best to keep it as limited as possible, but things can get to that point. Now, going back to the question about the windows, if you open up the wall and your structural components, which is supporting the window or the door or whatnot, they are deteriorated due to termite or water damage or whatnot, I think those members have to be replaced then it has to be brought up to the current code. In order to bring it to the current code, he has to install certain amount of studs and the opening and repair the opening as per the current Florida building code requirements. At that time, once he does the framing work and he removes the window, it will be hard for the window to go back on again. So in that case, you will need to have those new windows installed. And that would be the weakest link in your unit. And I would highly recommend while all this work is being performed, this is the right time. If you can afford it, you should be addressing your windows right now. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, do we have to vacate the unit?
No, just the room. Supposedly, if you're working on a room and all of a sudden I have worked in several other buildings in this location, in this vicinity of this area where we opened up the wall or removed the T111, all of a sudden the studs are bad. All of a sudden due to the water damage, the insulation is shot and everything else. So in order to repair that, he has to, go in,
So
it'll be more intrusive. So
He
you may
will
have to.
replace this too if this
We
breaks?
put it back the same
If
way.
needed,
How what?
yeah.
The only thing, the floor, I'm removing it, and I'm not gonna put it back.
I'm sorry?
The floors,
You're not removing the floor?
I'm
right?
removing the floors, but I'm not gonna put it back.
Who's putting it
That's
back?
owner responsibility.
You mean-
You guys can.
Why are you removing floors?
Okay,
How am I gonna
right.
match the floor?
No, what he's saying is the structural slab will remain in place, any finishing on the floor. If he is repairing the wall, may have to be removed a couple of feet, he will go ahead and remove that, and afterward, it is your responsibility how you want to put it back. Finishing, carpet, wood power.
Ma'am, you have more time. Do you have another question?
Well, what about if, okay, I have a patio, it's all pavers, or I guess it's like a marble actually outside and in the back. Are you guys gonna cover that so it won't get damaged?
The best we can,
Okay.
but I'm not, again, whatever happens, I wanna be responsible.
But Levi, I'm sorry, okay? There are people that have spent a lot of money on the flooring.
I understand.
The expectation of the contractor is you properly cover those floors. I don't wanna see tar
Not in this.
men
not
from the
in-
roof walking on recent pavers. and
That's what I'm afraid of. I pay a lot of money for that patio.
What he's gonna be done to remove walls and to remove this, I have to cut new floor. I wanna be.
No.
You're not understanding the question. The question is, unit owners have spent a lot of money with wood decks, pavers, and tile. The expectation, okay, is that if you are going to work on the external part of this building, and you're going to work with tar, and you're gonna work with paint, that you, as the contractor, will do your due diligence in ensuring that you will minimize any possible damage.
Yeah.
Case in point, I had a contractor once, okay, on another job, that these gentlemen stepped on tar. And guess what this gentleman did? Started walking all over the place with tar on his shoe. This is what I'm talking about. Okay,
No, of
because
course,
you can't sit there and say you're not responsible.
No, I'm saying if I have to.
You're gonna
remove it
take due
for
diligence, we wanna
for
see
car
floor
work.
coverage, we wanna see floor coverage.
I would just cover your back.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do my own, but, cause I don't, I've seen enough construction, but what I'm saying is, you're not gonna paint these buildings without properly securing the unit
Of course,
owners.
I didn't say about that.
You said, sir, you just said I'm not
If I have to
responsible.
remove it.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that we're clear, okay? And I'm going to, that you as the contractor will protect to your best these unit owners, tiles, pavers, that you're not gonna just paint and then not cover. Well, you, sir, you just sat there and said that you're not responsible. So I wanna make sure.
So I would like to explain as an engineer and project manager on this job, when he takes over a building to work on it, any and all area which is on the exterior of the building where people will be walking, he's going to go ahead, cover it up with the plywood or whatnot, and try to protect it to the best of his ability, and we will monitor that. What he's trying to say here is, supposedly if he's working on a wall and it happens to be your tile is right next to the wall, then he may have to cut the tile off in order to properly repair the wall. That's what he's saying, but he will cover the
Understood.
flooring.
It's just like, for example, people have pavers, you have wood beams against a paver. Obviously, when you remove the beam, the post, you're gonna have to lift up. Yeah, that's understandable. I'm just saying paint, tar, debris that utmost care is taken. I'm not saying, of course you have to remove, you have to remove.
Yeah, and quite honestly, when he puts in the sliding glass doors, those sliding glass doors need a 6-inch, if I'm, help me if here, it needs a 6-inch, it's 6 inches of track.
Yeah.
What we currently have is 4 inches. Okay, so he's gonna have to cut into whatever that flooring is inside to install that new
And water.
door. Okay, so that's where he's talking about.
That's-
Okay, yes, sir.
That's the bedroom and the
Will the
living
owners have the option to modify the building while it's being opened? Like, if we don't want to put a sliding glass door back in, we'll just wall it off, is that possible?
You have to permit it, you need an architect, draw drawings, then you have to go.
So
And
the-
you have
the
to
answer is
have
no.
architectural modification from the board.
So the answer is
You have to
no.
have approval.
Just say no. Thank you, that's it.
Okay, in the back, anybody else on this side? Let's go on this side, yes, sir.
Yeah, Noah Francis, 1741, Northwest 73rd. All right, so the contractor was saying, basically, he's not responsible for certain things. I know he's trying to explain it, but this is the case. You have a rafter changing in a room. It is termite infested. Bust breaks through the roof and damages anything in the personal space of the occupant. Who's responsible for something like that?
But that's not gonna happen, because when we remove the roof on top and we see the truss is damaged, and we need to come inside to remove your drywall, we're gonna let you know, the engineer is gonna let you know, you have to, clear that room or whatever, because this work is gonna have to be done. So that's the only thing, and we're gonna put your drywall back, we're gonna paint it the same how it was before.
The dust barrier is gonna be put in so
Yeah.
that all of their
That's my
dust
next
doesn't go into
Yeah.
the unit.
It's gonna be
In
covered
removal-
everything.
in removal of studs, beams or anything of the sort, whatever damages happen to the drywall in each unit,
It's gonna
is
be
that your
repaired.
responsibility?
Yes, it's gonna be repaired.
The
It's
structure's
gonna be
gonna
put
be-
back the same way how it was.
The structure
Meaning
goes back.
better, and paint the whole room, not just the wall.
Likewise with bathrooms and kitchens.
Bathroom, I put your drywall back, I don't put tiles back.
If you damage a new bathroom, who's responsible for it?
Meaning damaging in which way?
You removing studs and stuff, drywall is, or roof rock, whichever is used. Tiles fall off the walls, the walls start to jump. What are the protections that unit owners have?
Okay.
Okay, excuse me, we have one question that we need to have answered, and one person speaking. Thank you.
So what your question is very legit. There will be a possibility that surrounding the walls near your bathroom may be damaged, the structural damage or whatnot. So in that case, what's gonna happen, any and all plumbing components will be properly removed and stored somewhere else, and he will access the wall. If he has to remove the drywall, he will remove the drywall from inside. If he has to remove the exterior surface, whatever the finish outside that is, to address these stuff, he will go ahead and do that. Then he'll put the drywall back on again, he'll paint the drywall, and then I will plan this time that the plumbing components will be put back by him or somebody else.
Not because of time.
Let me simplify the question.
Yeah,
You tile a wall, the wall is exterior wall.
yeah,
You have to remove a stud.
yes.
By removing the decaying studs, because it's timber, when you remove it, the wall no longer is anchored to anything at all. What happens when a wall like that comes down?
Okay, in the cases like that, what we did is we do not go tearing off the thing. If there's a stud which is bad, we can sister another stud right next to it, and we can leave the original stud in place. Okay.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I wanted to ask a question about the windows. We just got the, hurricane window and sliding door, and you said that, all windows may have to be windows, or we'll be able to keep?
No, you're gonna be, if they will install with permit, so if they is
Yes.
permitted, yes, you can keep it, but the only thing you have to do, you need to call that company or somebody else to remove it and put it back. Because if I damage it, I'm gonna be responsible to buy you brand new window.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Understand?
So when you, and I'm sorry, how are you gonna contact us, each person to talk to us about the windows?
Well, I don't know what building in phase you guys are, but when the time comes, like I said, I wanna meet before we even touch anything. I wanna walk with you guys and talk, see, what needs to be done, what you need to remove from around your property, and including talk about the windows and doors.
Okay, so you come to each
Yes.
person, or they contact us and say,
Well, soon as your building is chosen, to be done, the board is gonna contact you, the manager is gonna contact you, we're gonna set up a time when it's
Yeah,
convenient for you, and we
The
come in.
contractor and the engineer will literally be meeting with every single individual person as they're going on, because remember, so where you're,
1740, phase 3, 1740.
okay, so you're in phase 3, you put in new windows in phase 3, you've got a lot of stucco and not a whole lot of T111.
Okay,
Your windows, they're taking the stuff off, your windows probably aren't even gonna be touched.
okay.
Because you gotta remember, it's phases 1 that have a lot of T111 around it. So when you think if you live, anybody in phase 1, you got those really high windows. Those jealousy windows are, crappy. Those things will fall off if you blow on them really hard. So when you take off T111, there's a very, very good chance that those could come out because what they're in the frame could be rotted. What you've got over there, you're in solid with stucco. You've got 50-50 stucco. We've got people that are over here, like this unit where you are, Shirley. You get a lot of stucco. Those windows are really solid inside of there. So yeah, we'll have them meet with each and every person as we're going along and just make sure that.
One more thing to that, and usually if they done with permit, and they are on a wood frame, they for sure replace all the rotted wood around, so probably the window or door doesn't even have to come up.
Right, yeah, they did,
So,
okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a little bit more time. Do you have any other questions? No? Yes, ma'am.
So Levi mentioned that the prices of the windows are somewhere already for us to review.
So what this, the board did is, when we met with the engineer initially, and the issue was, a lot of people saw the original windows, right? And Levi brought up, well, in order for me to close the permit on that building, we need to make sure that the windows meet code. The city, when they do their inspections, they'll point out those windows that won't pass, right, as well. So what we challenged him with is, says, Levi, get bulk pricing so that if a unit owner wants to take advantage of bulk pricing for windows, because these windows, hurricane impact windows, are expensive. If you can get a manufacturer to give you bulk pricing, then we can make it available to the unit owners that have to change windows. So that pricing that he established is in our contract as an addendum of, so we have those prices locked in, right?
But we need to know, I
Will be a
have no
second
idea what we're
assessment.
talking
Yes,
about.
but I
It'll be
asked
included in the
yes,
special
Let me finish.
assessment.
I understand he will be walking, but if he walks 2 weeks before he starts my building, I have no idea how much money I
60,000.
need that day that he takes us.
60,
Right.
70.
We've
It's not
requested,
It's
I
not
know,
enough
Well,
time
it's
for me
still
to
not
get
enough for
it.
me to come up with
And if you do,
$10,000.
It's
Yeah.
not enough, so
Sounds
what
like
I
you
wanna
redo
do,
your
like,
tile and
I'm sorry, to jump into, basically what I wanna do. So now we send the first 4 building what they are, I wanna talk to these people, and then I wanna get to everybody before we get even announcing we're gonna get to your building. I wanna talk to everybody, talk to each other, tell you, hey, this window you wanna replace, you see the prices, it's really a great opportunity because it's really good price.
but to her point, Levi, I think what we need to do is extract from extract into a separate fact sheet that has all the window sizes. You may not be familiar with because it's a drawing of the window. But you'll be able to tell, because the windows, I think, how many types of windows are there? 5?
AGT.
No, no.
Oh, I think 5.
Yeah, there are about 5 styles of window. So you'll be able to tell what you currently have, and the measurements are there, but the pricing there. So what we need is we need to extract from that and do a fact sheet and have that in here and also post it on the website where everybody knows, okay, this is my size window, it's gonna cost me this if I go to Levi's. So we're gonna have to do that.
It's been months and months that yes, you're gonna get us a great deal, but what does that great deal mean?
Yeah, I know. I'm
versus
sorry, it's in
other-
the contract.
No, I understand. I'm looking at you out of respect, but it's everybody. I need to know even if it's a year from now, I need to have a rough idea of what kind of money we're talking about.
Yeah, no,
That's
point
what
well
I tried
taken.
to
We're
say.
gonna add it to our FAQ. We're gonna list all the 5 types of windows and the dimensions with the price. And the price that you quoted, sorry?
They price the
The
sliding.
price you quoted is with install, correct?
Basically, you guys only paying for the window. The labor is included because I do
Okay,
place.
good.
You
So
only-
the price that
is
you're gonna
just
see
for the-
is-
and the permit.
Okay.
Is installed, so we only have to pay the permits.
The permit and the window.
Are we obligated to keep the sliding door, even though we never used it in our life? Is it an
Again, you
obligation?
have to get an architectural modification from the board if you do not want to have the sliding glass door. If you want to have it walled off, you have to get an architectural modification from us and a permit from the city. So the first step is the architectural modification form that is on the website. You'll submit it to us with the drawings and the information, and we'll make
I'm
a
sorry,
decision.
guys, you have the engineer here, they can do the same thing for you guys. With no problem with the closing wall and this, if the board approve it.
So what he's saying that in order to make it easier for you, both, and any other, issues that comes along with that, we can go ahead and design, it's not a complicated thing, we can go ahead and design and he can, go ahead and price that in advance. So if you do decide to replace that with a solid wall, first you have to get an approval from the board, and they do give you an approval, then you'll know the cost, what the cost is going to be. So you can make the intelligent
So
decision.
the same for you.
Okay.
Right,
Sorry.
and that cost to wall that up is out of your pockets.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
One more thing, if I still have time. If it was up to you and permits and everything, what could you start? Because I know now, you said,
Well-
oh, now it's January, but it
But
was
no,
up to
it's,
you and permits.
it's really realistic, you know, with the holidays and everything what's coming. It's just gonna be, probably I can start, you know, towards the end of the month. You know, like probably,
So permits, everything is ready to go.
well, permits is not 100% ready, we're still working, but I gonna have the permits for sure by next week. The only thing I'm not gonna have, the roofing is gonna be first, what's coming up. But I need other things, what I have to submit, I didn't submit because I don't have certain things. Okay, like I got calculation for, you know, fans and facades and everything what I just got from engineering, you know, what's another source I have to get.
So I want to further explain back to you that whatever the issues or whatever the issues we run into with the city for permitting the windows, will be for the first 4 buildings. Once we get the permit, then every other permit for the windows, the doors, the playground will be the same thing. So it would not take that long at all. We can always submit that with that. So we'll know right away that what it would take and how long would it take to get the permit for your windows.
Permitting is not gonna be so problem, meaning getting the permit, you know, I can get it fast enough. The only problem was gonna be, you know, I need a minimum, you know, 4 and 6 week lead time to get the windows. So this is why I wanna do this in advance for the people who wants to replace and, you know, because I put the order, I don't wanna start the building without having those things, you know? So that's the only thing.
Yes, ma'am. Couple questions. When you're doing the roofs and the eaves that are underneath it, the wood that's up against it, there's been a lot of dead animals or living animals
The fascia.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
fascia.
facial, yeah.
The
Of
fascia's
course.
not gonna get fixed, right?
It's
Okay.
gonna be brand new.
Beautiful. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna smell. Bad. Second thing is concerning the windows. Is it possible to add us to the loans that we're taking out anyway?
It's not enough. We were only approved for 4.6.
Okay, can there be an additional loan? Because as she's saying, coming up with $5,000-$10,000 in cash is tough right
Yeah,
now.
well, I don't think the association wants to get into a loan that's the unit owner responsibility.
But we're already paying that amount.
Carol Eskew had given some suggestions for people, I mean, sometimes a loan, you'll probably get a better rate than the association got as a commercial loan. You'll probably get a better rate if you have equity in your house.
You'll be paying too freaking over.
Pay for that. I mean, there was a lot of suggestions that she gave. But what you're asking for is the association to get into a loan that unit owners are, it's like if we take out a loan for everybody to replace their front door. That's a unit owner responsibility. It's not a whole entire association responsibility. Not everybody's gonna have to pay or replace windows or doors, especially if you just recently upgraded your windows and doors. So we wouldn't wanna put the entire association in a loan. I don't even think the bank will give us more money, to be honest with you. It took us 8 years for this loan to get, this line of credit to get approved. And the reason why it took so long is because we had to meet the bank's requirements. And the bank has a formula, and they have guidelines, and Carol Eskew explained it to everybody. We've been working on this loan for almost
If you
8
trust
years.
Carol, that's who that is.
Why? Because there's a lot of factors. They wanted to see us have a good, solid foundation of collecting of money, which we did. They want to see the default of unit owners. There's a percentage that banks utilize that are unit owners in default. And,
And there's lots of
we went
banks.
back and forth with the bank so many times. And they kept saying,
gonna be a lot
no,
of
I don't even know if
it's not there.
Banco
when we need it."
Popular. I don't know why we got with that one.
Now, obviously, we don't want to incur.
There's Bank of America, there's Wells Fargo, there's,
I get it.
there's credit
I
unions.
understand. Thank you. You're saying that all the stuff is going to be on the tennis courts, right?
That's one of the staging areas.
Okay, staging areas, trucks and stuff on there. Will the tennis courts be put back as a tennis court when all this is done?
We would like to. We would like
We haven't been
to.
able to use it for years.
We would love to see this, we would love to, the fact is that if we have the funds,
It's gonna be collected every month. You could do it.
People who are not around in the daytime, and I've looked at the website several times, it's very hard to get anybody to contact us. Will there be emails, phone calls, or whatever?
We will make sure every single homeowner gets contacted in a timely manner. That will be a priority.
Thank you.
Patty, I have one thing, when he comes with a great idea.
yes.
A great idea he comes, so if the board is gonna allow us to start, semi-mobilizing, put Minda's the office here, then we can put, like 8 to 5 hours, people can come in. We're gonna have packages ready, for them with the windows. You tell us which one is your unit, we come with you, we see, we tell you, what needs to be done, and you guys have the packages and everything. I think that's gonna be easier for you guys.
Just one more
Still,
question.
you gotta come up with.
Regarding the beams that are on the inside, because, a lot of them, because of hurricane damage or whatever, they have electricity run on, which was when the units were built. If the beams are being removed, because they're on the inside, all the electricity that was put back on.
Just get by
Because it was
what
light
you have to
fixtures,
do.
et cetera.
Just get by what you have to do and wait there. So if you get a better loan in like June, and then we'll do all your windows that time.
Excuse me,
that long.
we need one,
Yes.
inside the unit,
Yes.
Why would that be tough?
Because he talked about roofs and stuff coming down, the beams right there.
but
And they're full of termites, and the last, I forgot which hurricane, 2007, it shook, it's loose, they came and looked at it then, put a little caulking on there, said, okay, you're good to go.
But your inside beams are decorative beams, they're not supporting your
Those are
ceiling.
cedar, they're
Right,
not
and those are the ones
termites.
you're talking talking about, that everybody has in their living room?
Yeah, and the kitchen.
Yeah, so, but they're not gonna be working inside your unit when they replace the.
But if
It might
they're
be
moving
more
the
like support
roof around,
though, you know.
that could come with.
Well, it's
Because you got all those beams that are supporting it.
Inside stuff.
They come up with, what do you call them, 2x4s and
No,
stuff.
not everyone. You know, most of them are gonna be in good shape, the ones that need to be replaced will be replaced. And then remember, that's all, if there's wood decking between the inside of your unit and the outside, there's gonna be a whole new wood deck that's
Okay,
gonna
is
be
there
put
gonna
in.
be insulation?
Nothing on the inside is
Well, I
gonna be
mean,
touched.
on the wood decking, is it gonna be insulation?
Of course,
Yeah,
not top,
where you're
top
talking
roof.
about on the inside, they're not gonna be doing
All right,
anymore.
I'll contact you for this.
Yes, sir.
First of all, in my patio area and outside, my post is rotting out, from, it's a metal post. I assume that's part of the repair, for the support.
Oh,
beam.
holding your porch up or whatever? Yeah.
Okay, so that.
But
Also,
it's
go ahead.
a metal,
Yeah, it's a metal post,
Inside the-
Inside.
Inside.
And also, you said something about the enclosed patio. What about when they're working on the roof? What about all the screening? What's the procedure on that? Because there's gutters involved, or, you have gutters behind the screen. I mean, does the screen just come off? Or is it
Listen, when we are working any area, whether it is your building structure or the roof, we're gonna try to be at minimum as far as the intrusion goes. So if the screen is on the way, it has to be removed. If it's not, if he can replace the roof without removing the screen, then.
But what about the framing? Will the framing be involved with that? Because the framing is probably up against the fascia, which is behind the gutter. I'm not exactly sure, but
Like I said, it's my engineers will structurally evaluate that prior to him replacing or doing any demolition. And then we will instruct him accordingly that one needs to be replaced, removed, or shored up while we're here.
And also, T111, now I think I have T111 in my panel here on the seat. Is that gonna all be replaced, the T111? I got T111, the phase 4.
You already know which size?
No.
Phase 4.
I had it too, the phase
On
one.
the inside of the patio, your T111 runs on the inside,
But I
that's
think it
the
runs on the ceiling.
There's also T111 on the upper structure on the side.
That's right. So, I mean, all that's gonna be replaced with stock.
It's replaced with stuff.
Not with stuff, with
Hardy
hardy
board, sorry.
Anywhere there's T111, will not be with stock.
It'll be.
Where's her here? Who is he?
That's what I'm thinking.
Any other questions, sir? Yes, sir.
No, I mean, where's her husband? He's not here?
They should own the property.
Oh.
He has his own place.
One per phase.
So only works in one building at a time, at any given time.
In each
We
phase, in the
consider
phase.
building the cluster of units. So this is phase one. You have 6 buildings in phase one, you have 31 units, that's 6 buildings. So it'll be one building at a time, cluster of units.
And how long is the project from start to finish? How long is it gonna take?
He said they're building 8 weeks or so.
No,
6 to 10 weeks.
overall. So everything's done.
Oh,
The whole
everything.
complex.
Yeah, it's gonna be well over a year.
Well,
Because we figure a month and a half, we also have to factor in hurricane season next year.
Yeah.
So there'll be some delays due to weather, we can't replace a roof when it's raining. So that's why the first quarter, since it's not rainy season, this is where he's gonna get his push, because he'll be able to do, if he's averaging a month and a half per building, the first quarter, you should be able to get, out of the 6 buildings, you should be able to get half over.
So material cost, is that price locked in for that amount of time?
Yeah,
The material cost is not gonna change?
yeah.
Enormous.
Keep in mind that each cluster of buildings has a different number of units. So when we start in phase one, building 6 is gonna be the first one. There's only 4 units in building 6. So they're probably gonna finish phase one quicker than they would for some other ones. Or it could go the same time because there's so much more wood that needs to be. So So there's gonna be different factors of, you know, how many number of units, most of phase one is 5-unit buildings. So, you know, that'll actually end up going a little bit quicker on the 4-unit buildings compared to the ones that have the 6-unit buildings.
Sir, you have a little bit more time. Do you have any more questions?
What was the, because I was not there the last meeting, what is the cost per home?
Okay, so when you receive the 2024 proposed budget, in that same mailing, you should have received the special assessment consideration. It all depends on your phase and what your unit is, if you're a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom.
I have it with me if you want to come see me after the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Any other, yes, ma'am?
I was wondering, because phase 4 is always terrible about voting, so how is that gonna work with voting for the paint color and all that?
Well, to be honest with this budget, we were short one and phase 4 came through this year.
Oh, they voted, they had a quorum?
So believe me, I think what we're gonna, well, aside from Levi's team and so forth, we're gonna start having individual phase meetings. Because for example, you and I live in phase 4, we have nothing to do with how phase 1, what they wanna vote, their color and stuff like that. So each phase is gonna vote on we don't have, with the exception of a few buildings that have T111, we're mostly stucco, right? So what we have to vote, for example, in phase 4 is the decorated trellises, wood banding and stuff like that we're trying to eliminate because that's just added cost, which is not in this. And then, so we have to vote. So one of the things that we asked Levi was, I want to set up this room for people to actually come and see materials. For example, he brought some sample windows, which is good. Of course, the windows will be bronze, they're not going to be white, they'll be bronze. You have a sample of the T111 there. That's not the color, by the way. He just had that painted. You have a sample of the shingle roofing here. We're
And the
missing.
sample of the flat.
And the flat roof over there.
The flat roof over there. And what's left to do is the 2 options for colors. So the board chose 2 colors. And what's left to do, Levi, I know that the building, we have it outside. We thought about putting something here just outside the clubhouse.
There's no space around here.
It's not right here on the side.
On the
Right
wall.
here on the outside.
You can't.
Look at all the cases he's tried.
It's so small, it's so, you have
Okay, so we have to set up so you can see the color outside somewhere. We don't want
This
to
way
do
it's
it
outside.
inside, because the colors get distorted under fluorescent light. So we want to do something where you can see, you know, a hardy board color painted, and then you can see a piece of stucco painted, and the 2 color options that, for the fence, for that color. So you have 2 stucco, 2 wall colors, and 2 paint colors. And each paint color of the wood, fascia wood, and the fence will be the same color that matches. We met with Sherwin-Williams, who gave us, you know, looked at samples, and they helped us decide to match the 2 colors. Wood color against a building color.
He's a litigation
You'll have to,
attorney.
want to set it outside.
I have to
not
pay
in here.
for
You won't be
this
able
window.
to appreciate the
Yes.
color in here.
Right, basically it's a beige.
Me
brown,
too. We got the same
and
style.
a lighter color and a gray.
We have
Very
these
light gray, like a nice.
big doors right
Yes,
here.
yes. I don't know. We'll see if we have to place something. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
a-
so it's gonna pick the samples for those colors?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I'll be right back.
I have shutters, and I'd like to be able to keep my shutters. The guy that did my shutters
That's
is
yours?
no longer in business.
It's my attorney, one of
So,
them.
Jay, when you have
One of the
recommendations
attorneys,
for
yeah.
people to come in and remove it, and then.
I'll work with the group and see what we can put together.
And then, I don't know if I probably have to replace the windows. Is there less expensive if I don't need the hurricane windows? Do we have a choice of regular windows or no?
The problem, I'm sorry, may I say something here? The problem with the shutters, with the existing shutter, what you guys have, we're gonna, you know, we move it, we're gonna put the hardy board. The problem is, needs to be engineered to go back there.
No, she's in the phase that doesn't have hardy board.
Oh,
She
okay,
only has
so
not
if
hardy board, I
it's,
think
It's the
in
part
your
in law firm.
closet outside.
if
There's
it's
3 law
on the
firms.
concrete, that doesn't have, nothing bad.
No, well, yes, because it sits against the wood banding.
shutters all sit on one Band-Aid. So we have to remove, you and I are the same boat.
So, but is there another window option for me, or this, so that's it?
Well, I mean, we got all pricing, I know some people, I think Blair got personal prices not too long ago.
You gotta take them down, you gotta have,
Bulk
you've got to
pricing.
come to
That's why we wanted to
Otherwise,
see
it's
if you
killing
can
them.
negotiate a price, so people can get a better price on windows. These are hurricane impact windows, right?
So then I have no choice, I have to go.
You do have a choice, you can either take advantage of this bulk pricing,
Yes,
or.
Susan, your windows aren't
The
gonna
time,
be a
because
problem
you have to
because
do your
your
windows
windows
right now.
Remember, you don't have anything holding
And
No,
windows.
she's
It's
got,
only
she's
so
got
you're
original,
financing
you
for
have
windows
original
plus
3 and 4
and the
is really
screen
mostly
closures
decorative
plus
on the outside, it's
then
not,
that
that wood banding
35,
doesn't
40,000,
actually.
I think 35. Yes.
That's
Unless
what
you do one
Levi
month,
will be going.
which you just have to wait on the
Leave
month.
the unit owners.
And maybe replace just the
Yeah,
two
just as
soft
an
ones.
FYI, I had gotten pricing from, I think, 3 different companies, for, impact windows.
Exactly.
And
And so you'll have to do
if
it.
I read his stuff correctly and picked out the windows that I actually have, that was a little more than half of what everybody else was quoting.
Could you give us an idea how much?
Well, everybody else was quoting me 28 to 30, and I think his was like, yes, for all, for everything, for everything.
I know, it's gonna
All my
be,
sliding glass doors, all my windows.
it's gonna be a mess, I know.
And his was, I think, about 15 or 16.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you mentioned that we're gonna have different samples for colors outside. So how many samples are we gonna have? And who's gonna pick those colors? Is it gonna be someone, because obviously we're gonna spend $4.5 million. Is it gonna be someone with, like, I'm not expecting a designer, but some designer picking colors like background? Because at the same time, we don't spend all this money and have something like an eyesore like what I made phase 2, where, so we just wanna make sure that whoever pick those samples has some background and.
It does. We met with the Sherman Williams rep, and he narrowed it down to 2 colors. And the 2 colors are, we don't have the sample here.
They're directly across.
Yeah, if you want to look at them across the street, is it the one facing 17?
Yeah, and in the
right there.
daytime, the sun hits it.
One is a very, very,
That'll take a
very,
minute,
very
but
pale
once that
gray
happens, then you're good.
with a nice
They
complementary.
also painted the trim padding and the gutters too.
Yeah.
So the trim and the gutters are all.
I mean, what are you talking about, the building outside?
Yeah, right here, straight across.
Right straight across.
Okay.
Walk out the door and just keep going and you'll run into it.
That's fine.
This is, it's a couple of messages. It's just public record, so you can look at that.
You have T111 on your outdoor. No, they don't have outdoor laundry.
No,
They're in phase 3.
Right.
Like a storage.
So, yeah, that's all part of the process. That's gonna be replaced. Yeah.
Just to give you some idea.
Anywhere there's T111, sir? No, you have one?
You want us to take everything off the walls and all that stuff. It's understandable. We have, roads not attached to the fence. They had it growing up. We have to take that out.
Well, you don't have to take it out. How far is from the fence? If it's really possible for us to, leave the existing fence, you have the hole for the post. If we have enough space, it's not gonna bother
Yeah,
the
one
house.
should be all right there.
We're gonna try to cover, to pull them, with a tarp, to pull it, more this way so do not damage them. We're gonna work together, like I said. It's not like, we're gonna start a war in between us.
We have the authority insurance.
Yes.
It's our responsibility to take them down and put them back up.
Yes.
Pardon me?
Let's see.
I have in the front, I have in the back.
No. We can mark them,
It's public
brand
records, so-
everything, and we can store it either at the tennis court or in our staging area. We're gonna make a place and, try to be more, careful. No, I'm not moving it.
So what is gonna happen is whoever you hire to remove that person can put that in a bag or whatnot, all the components, and then you can bring it to him and he'll mark it and store it for you.
Okay, so basically I have to get someone to remove it.
Yeah, you can, yeah, basically.
Then I have to get someone to put it back on.
The same person will remove.
I'll work with the group to find a couple of licensed companies that they approve and that can work with.
I can do it myself.
My homeowner's insurance would involve in that.
Okay, he still has some time.
Their insurance that they.
I'm sorry.
I have a question about the air conditioning unit out front. Right. You're gonna remove that?
We're gonna have a contractor, a mechanical contractor, remove it when the wall is repaired. We expect that to be done within a 6 to 8 hour period, and then it'll be put back. Just as the
If there's any damage, you're gonna take care of it.
we're gonna make sure that we have a contractor that isn't reckless and disconnects it.
But Daniel, that's not for every unit. Like, for example, phase 4 that has the units in the front, it's just a matter of putting the fence back around it.
No, that's no problem about that. It's not like
Some are pretty close.
phase 1 and phase 2 are being inspected.
Yeah,
We
phase
can
one
do
has
inspect
some
data
very-
right there.
Why are they gonna take off the fence in front of it? Because there's a fence there.
You're saying that we can't park our vehicles out front while you work, and we can't park them at the clubhouse. Where are we gonna park them?
With the 8 hours, well,
A lot of people, but a lot of people are gone during the day, and there are plenty of guest spots elsewhere, and there'll be guest spots open during the day in the non-working units, or the non.
I work 10 hours a day. I wanna get home. And I can't find a parking spot. Where work
One second, guys. The only time you're not gonna be able to park, if I use your parking lot without truck, and we're gonna have to throw the roofing material. Otherwise, the rest, it's not gonna be a problem. I don't think, I know it's gonna be a big problem with that. You can park on the side of your street, until we have to move a truck. We're gonna, you home, we can work together.
Yeah, you can work it this time.
Come on, guys.
If I understood Jay correctly, phase 4, I didn't, I forgot.
What is in the contract?
With phase 4, what we're saying is because of phase really 3 and 4 have so much reinforcement with stucco. When you take off the wood banding doesn't really secure the windows, it's just cosmetic. So windows aren't being removed at all, but when the banding is taken off in phases 1 and 2, there may be a chance that it's rotted behind it and the window pops out. In your phase there, it's gonna be very unlikely.
You don't have to. It's the chance if you need, if they need to replace or pay all, you have a chance to not pay labor, so you only pay. I'm just
If you
saying.
have the original windows and no shutters, the city will not pass your unit. You have to be up to code. And there are a lot of people with original jealousy front doors, those won't pass.
Phase 4?
No, well, we see them in phase 4, but we see jealousy front doors everywhere.
Yeah, my next door neighbor has a jealousy.
The one with the windows in it? Yeah.
Okay, Shirley, you have more time. Do you have another question?
Regarding the termites, I know.
Excuse me.
I know something was mentioned. I'm not only asking for myself, but for a couple of other homeowners in phase 1. I understand the T111 is gonna come up. These termites will come into our inside and into the cabinets, into the wood beams in there. What is going to be done after the roofs are done? We've already got termites inside. Is there a plan? The building's gonna have to be tended because to bite me in the ass after the roof's been done, and everybody's trying to do something for the termites inside.
Well, a response to that, I know Jay already talking to some exterminator companies, what they gonna be here, then we remove decking and everything was rotten, and we find, and they gonna spray before we cover everything, so you're gonna have that done, and everything was already rotten in the structural components of your house, okay, that's gonna be repaired, replaced, okay, and then they're gonna spray. Now, in your cabinets and your, I don't know, furniture, that's a different story. I don't know how to help you there.
I mean, they didn't have it in my wood furniture when I moved in, but now they're getting
Right,
into
when
my
they
wood
take it
furniture.
off, most of the rotted stuff with the termites is coming out, but we actually have already talked to our exterminator and said, we're gonna need you to be available, especially in 1 and 2.
I
when
know
a
there's
lot of
this-
wood is being taken out, we don't know what's underneath, and we talked with him about having some text
Is that
that's
Sal?
available.
That's Sal?
Yeah, we've got actually 2 different exterminators.
He's been in my unit several times,
Yeah, we're
and
gonna have
I
two
just found
different
more
exterminators.
droppings underneath my bathroom vanity.
And all that stuff would be removed and thrown in this truck and taken out and then replaced with a new beam.
Yeah, and he's gonna be treating the wood before it goes in, so that we've got that extra protection.
What about stuff that, I sit at my computer at 6 in the morning with the computer light on, and I'm inside and I'm getting swarms
Well,
coming at me, and it's.
That's a good story, Jay, you wanna double check with Sal on that and see?
Halloween is bad. Halloween is bad.
I'm gonna be nice and hold my hand down and not wait to you.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. I'm uncomfortable the way the board's gaze is always over here and never on this side of the room. That's number one. Number two, Ken brought up shutters and air conditioning. That means you're gonna disconnect both of those items? Who's gonna put them back? Because my items are working perfect. Wait a minute, he was getting ready to answer that.
Okay. I don't want to give the impression that we're going to be moving all of the air conditioners if they're not right up against the building. When we did our walkthrough on Friday, we noticed that there were air conditioning compressors that were right up against the 2111.
When you say right up against, what kind of inches are you talking about?
4
12,
inches.
14, 15?
No, 4 or 6 inches.
Okay.
So if yours are surrounded by the fence and aren't up against the building, okay, if it's not right up against the building, then we're not gonna move it. It's only if it's up against the building where he doesn't have space to do the replacement of the T111.
Okay, what about the reliable shutters?
I'm sorry?
Reliable shutters.
We will evaluate the shutter and see, in order for him to perform the repairs, if they have to be removed, we will advise you, then you can get your own shutter company, or you can ask Jay. He can have somebody come in and remove that shutter, store it somewhere. Once the repair is completed, then they can go ahead and put the shutter back.
So what you're saying is my expense to have it taken down and put it back up?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm uncomfortable with that. Another thing I'm uncomfortable with, as a homeowner here, I don't see a lawyer, all right? If this had been Kings Point, John Knox Village, or Jacaranda Lakes, our attorney would be here. And for the mere fact that he told you what he told you, excuse me, for the mere fact he told you what he told you, I don't know whether that's legal or not, okay? I'm uncomfortable with us coming here paying our money, we have a contract with an attorney, and we have to talk to somebody over the phone. That's unprofessional and not proper. We're homeowners here, that lawyer should be there or an associate to answer our questions. All right? The phone is not good enough.
Yeah, he's been in our meetings several times.
The last time I saw a lawyer was 2 years ago.
He's on the phone.
Right,
He's
but
been
that's,
advising
excuse me, I'm not speaking with you, sir. I'm speaking with Jay, okay? To me, the phone is not good enough. We're paying money, okay? Good money for a contract. We're not paying for phone service.
We're getting a lot of advice from the attorneys on this.
Well, I would like to see him in person, for him to give the advice here, and not over the phone.
He was here at our last meeting, and
Not in the last big meeting here.
Not
seen them.
We have,
I've been to the
we have
meetings.
questions, we're homeowners, we're paying good money. I wanna see an attorney.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, as far as the parking lot, I know there's gonna be a lot of flat tires. Are you gonna pick up all your,
Well, if it's,
everything, because
if it's my guys, yes, you pay for it.
they pick up all the stuff, you know.
I have $1,000 per tire run flat, so you gonna pay for that? I have a 540 BMW. You gonna pay for that? A 540i BMW, brand new. Well, it's a couple years old now, but yeah.
Because it costs money to replace a tire, I mean. So, you'll be cleaning up after yourself.
Yes, Mary.
When you're working on the building, does somebody have to be present there? Because there's people that work, for example, I'm not gonna be there. How is that gonna work?
Like we told before, if we have to work inside your apartment, then we're gonna let you know and we're gonna coordinate accordingly.
Okay.
So either we're gonna put a wall inside to divide, to open from outside to finish, but still we're gonna have to go from inside to finish your project. Okay.
So you work Saturday and Sunday?
We can work it out, okay? Like I said. Now in 5.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna miss day of work for that. I mean, we can't.
Now that we have to pay a lot, we're gonna have to work 7 days.
Yes.
Yeah, if the insulation is wrong, then I have to.
People got tired of listening to.
We can
them.
do this way. I think you, in phase 1. Phase 2.
Yeah, back insulation before you.
I managed to see in between my wall and there's nothing there, no installation. That's why I asked.
Yes, ma'am.
Levi, can you actually discuss the whole roof with the roof? What's actually happening when we have to move the roofs? So all 4 units will have the roofs removed, is that correct?
Yes, the whole building, yes.
Then what do you do with the next step? Just curious.
I'm gonna have to send my little dog, my son. I don't think he would stand that.
I don't have to park my car somewhere.
Stand that banging.
Well, my won't either.
Huh?
Well, my dog won't
I wanna
either.
do, so first, I wanna start with roofing to go a little farther. Then I wanna come behind with the structure to start working behind the roofer. So when the roofer is done, maybe a week later, the structure is done. If it's, reasonable, we're not finding big damages and big problems, what takes longer time. But yeah, everything is gonna be simultaneous.
Because I have to sell my house, or I can't. It's contingent on me. Yeah.
Okay. So, let me explain that to you.
How are you gonna work inside the house?
I have no idea.
Bare
the
plywood will
question.
be exposed. We will, as an engineer house, we look at that plywood and have it replace any and all damaged and deteriorated plywood. Once that plywood is replaced, immediately afterwards, he's going to go ahead and put a paper barrier on that. And then after that, you'll apply the
You're gonna need internet.
Yeah. They couldn't the wires though, isn't it? Oh.
You have to remove everything when the thing down.
Her question
So I'm
was.
working with the company, I'm sorry to finish, I'm working with the manufacturer.
The box is against the house.
No, it's against my fence. The wires, I'm like, one wire ring in.
Oh, mine is against my house.
I'll make sure. Leave that wire on.
Sharon's question was about the washing machine. Our washer and dryers are outside in a little shed covered by T111 and rotted to the core. So she is asking, does she have to remove the washer and dryer and our water heater?
Oh shit,
But
yeah, I
no,
gotta do that too.
yeah, the water heater's on there too, so.
Oh shit.
Well, it depends, like we said, case by case, so depends.
It's case by case, and each of us will get all of that information when he comes by to visit us before he starts.
I'm sorry, one more thing.
Mine, they have to replace it.
Sure, it's gonna have to be replaced.
Yeah, those doors to the laundry rooms will have to be replaced too.
Quick question, do you have a schedule that we can follow, or something that we can see a picture of, you know, when you start? Doesn't have to be that, we're trying to schedule, but that line is scheduled,
This is gonna-
so we can see.
Well, this is what we try to, you know.
No, yeah, but we're talking, we're discussing, that's something that we can see in a picture, you're gonna start here and you're gonna finish here, all the activities that you have in between.
We're gonna try to develop some like, as soon as we start the 4 buildings.
We're gonna be using face maps.
Yes.
Okay, so that you'll know, like, kind of where mobilization is
I don't know
gonna
what
be,
they're
what areas are gonna be addressed. So in
You
phase
don't want
one,
flats, you
yeah,
can't
your
patch it.
phase.
What he's referring to is what we
Yes.
discussed earlier, on the Q&A, we left it as a draft because we wanted to hear a lot of the questions. That's one of the questions, so in number 3, we're gonna actually expand
Well, I got
number
another
3.
part.
Once all the buildings
That one can
are
handle
placed in
it. The
order,
other one cannot.
we're going to add on the Q&A all the buildings in each phase that are gonna be following each other.
last time I put
So yeah, we'll have a visual.
got a nail here.
And on the second question I have, on the satellite
Replace the
dish,
tire,
for
did not
example,
fix it.
there's a satellite dish on my roof. I don't have a satellite dish contract. And I see around, you know, most of the buildings have satellite dishes, and I know they don't have satellite dish contract. So who's gonna be responsible? Still the owner, or can
Guys, if
I
you-
just remove them and jack them out?
If it's not used, you guys don't use it.
No, we don't use
I
it.
remove it and throw
Yes,
it away.
in my
That's
case,
all.
throw it away.
If it's not being used, you just remove it, throw it away, and sell like this.
No, only in case it's a satellite, what you guys use.
The one
They're making the
my
unit that's in the middle,
Took it down.
that they ran the satellite at the end of the
But that's not my
building.
problem.
No, what I'm saying is, before you touch a satellite, you gotta make sure it's alive.
The only thing I can do, I can go to the unit owner or just something like this. So it's not.
Well, you can ask
It's
everybody
not
in the
easy.
building, you can ask each occupant, do you have a satellite, is that your satellite dish? Because remember, those little units, they don't have it behind, they have it on the side of the building.
I think what we're gonna do is put together a list for Levi of things that he is going to have to ask each unit owner when he goes to visit them. And so he'll have the same question for every single
Same.
person and get
Yeah.
answer for every single unit, okay?
Yeah, no point in having it anymore. It's so easy just to get apps for this or apps for that, and watch whatever channels you want. HBO, huh?
Can you do that from
Yeah. I use DirecTV, Xfinity.
I don't know how updated they are, because unit owners are responsible for
Well,
But I have to have it for my business, but I got a gigabyte, and I have all these smart devices in my house, like lights
Good
and
idea, the phase meetings, when we have.
cameras and all that stuff.
Not everybody.
So
That's our pizza.
it's about 120 a month or something, but it's with a phone line too. So
So we
it's about
have to
100.
get information from the accounting firm.
But this is for highest speed. I'm at the top tier with the speed, like 1 gigabyte.
Yes, sir.
I have, you got it finished, right?
Yes, but it's about 100 a month.
No, I wanna come to you or.
But then I have Xfinity
Before I
Mobile too,
even
you
touch
have that.
anything on you. I wanna order those,
So,
as soon as my
$45
son.
a month.
And,
Per line.
you know, we put it like.
No, my son asked me on his, say, 18.
Because I wanna have
Say
it here,
18.
so when we
Go directly with you on those.
Yes,
With
yes.
this,
Payment goes directly to you.
I watch all the movies I want.
Exactly. But I don't watch them on
I check, I get everything, cash, preferable. Credit card, check, wires, anything you guys.
$89 a year.
No problem. I have to check that out.
Well, no.
Because I got Amazon, I've been like renting things on Amazon Prime.
And,
But that's because
But the bottom for the windows and the converting is ready, we need to cover the rest of the doors. Yes, definitely.
Okay, are there any other questions related to the project? Yes, sir.
Mine is 2.2.
Well, like I said, guys, so permit may by the end of next week, probably I can.
I use a
No
fire
problem.
stick.
So now I
Yeah, that's what I
can
do.
start mobilizing, you know, even next week. To the office
I
day
got that
for you
box
guys
for
to come
one
here.
of my
But
bedrooms.
work,
The
I don't
cube,
think work
fire
is
stick
gonna
cube.
start very early
I
the
don't
way
know
how
any
I
difference
feel
between
because
the
of
fire
all
stick.
this
I
holidays.
think it was
and
overpriced.
Well, there's also has to be time
But I got one in
scheduled
every
for voting of each phase.
Oh, I-
So,
No, I just wanted to know if I should see
Cable's too expensive.
going on.
No, understood. So the notice has to go out 14 days in
I just
advance,
pictures
the
of that.
proxies and the voting. We'll get our
I will get how
accountant
much
to
it is
involved.
because they
And
didn't
then,
Are we done? Sounds like we're done.
all right, does anybody have any other questions related to the?
Did she ever do
I'm sorry? Jay, please. What? I can't hear you.
If a unit is gonna be open where it has to be unsecure, basically, say it's a front door, say, are you gonna have a police officer here watching this place?
I don't think the unit's gonna be remaining.
We're not gonna leave any unit open, you know, for any reason. If temporary, we have to secure it, then temporary is gonna be secure. Temporary and make sure no water intrusion or any other problem. I'm not gonna leave your wall, everything open or a window. I
wants to be
outside,
higher.
whatever we need to do.
Are we done? I just want to get a picture of that.
He was the deputy here.
They're gonna take lunch right before.